Hi Scorpio, welcome to your end of April 2022 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Yeah, I trotted out my favorite deck, and some of these cards have been reversed. It's not normal. Typical for me lately. There's your card. There is your card. So we're going to pick an additional card. Well, there you go. There's your eclipse in May. I always see those as the eclipses. The heart of the matter is the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of financial independence. So, typically getting divorced is a big one. Graduating college, and it's like, do I have a job lined up? Is this job going to be enough to pay my bills? Those kinds of things, different stages of life. Divorce, first job out of college, maybe, living at home and not going to college, but working and being like, how can I afford to live on my own and pay my own way? And sometimes this can be because, you're living with someone that you just can't stand, even family members that are not supportive of you and things like that. So in the past position, we have the World card, and I'm going to just hold it upright so you can see it, but I did pick it reversed. The World card is a card of endings. Like the end of a chapter in your life, right? And it's the last card of the major arcana. So definitely, there's going to be a lunar eclipse in May, but you may feel the effects of that in April. And one of the things with the lunar eclipse, it's a powerful full moon. So it can be like the grand finale of something. But with this reversed World card, one of the themes of the World card is graduation. So if something is not, like if you were supposed to graduate and you didn't, because I remember I used that as an example. Well, I wasn't thinking of that card when I said that. I was just thinking of different stages in life, and people need to make money. Well, maybe there's some kind of a fear. Oh my God, I don't have enough credits, or you dropped out, and it's like, and you may not have even told your parents that you had dropped out, and now that it's the end of the year, or when I say dropped out, that you'd stop going to classes and stuff, and now it's like, whoa, what do I do now? Because I'm going to get kicked out of the dorm. Where do I go from here? And for other people, this can be the refusal to accept that something is over. It's funny because this is often what is said about the death card, that it is a card that is associated with the end, the irrevocable end of something. And it's really about accepting that. That's one of the reasons why death is so difficult for people to accept, is because the finality is there. If you divorce someone, there's always the possibility that you could get back together with them. If that person dies, obviously you can't, not in this lifetime anyway. So it is this sense of being able to tell whether something is truly over and accepting it, and accepting that transition. So like a marriage that is over, and it's all over but the shouting. Oh yeah, and because you're a Scorpio, you're a fixed sign, you tend to resist change. And emotionally, because you're a water sign, you don't just like get over something right away. Your emotions are very, very deep. So it takes time for you to get over things. The higher message is a Justice card, and that may be a situation where, for instance, if you are getting divorced or something along those lines, that you will perhaps be more open to accepting this when you get that decree in the mail. Like if your marriage is over, that can help you in a tangible way to see that this is the case. Even if now emotionally you can't. Also, if this is some kind of like, I was wondering too, if this could be some kind of situation with an inheritance, because you are going to have Mars in Gemini. There's going to be a Mars retrograde later this year, and it's going to be in Gemini. And Gemini for you is your 8th house, the house that you rule. So there could be a protracted battle with something to do with money, and maybe this has to do with, a divorce too. I didn't think of it at first like that, but like with the 9 of Pentacles, if that's something that is your concern, I think Mars ends up going direct like in mid-January of 2023. So there could be something going on with you and other people's money at some point in 2022, going into 2023. So you have to be prepared for that. And, the way that you are best prepared is to accept what is, happening, and not try to hold on to something that may be detrimental to you. What crosses you is the Ace of Wands. This is a card of new beginnings, maybe something that is very special to you, or, individual to you, per se. And you may have been kind of so focused on other things that you're kind of avoiding your own personal growth. And I think, again, these eclipses are really bringing out and triggering these new periods of your life, if you will accept them and not fear what they represent, even if it is change. That's why I think, the eclipses happen, is because sometimes we don't want to change. We're in this comfort zone. And so it's very easy to get caught up in that. So what's coming in is the Death card. The lunar eclipse in Scorpio is a perfect example of that. The end of an old way of being. This is in a later degree. I believe it's 25 degrees of Scorpio. So you have this opportunity, Scorpio, to let go of things in your life on a very basic level. First house, things in your life, in order to make room for new beginnings. You're actually going to have a solar eclipse in October, an early degree of Scorpio. So really new beginnings. But you have to clean house. You have to tie up those loose ends in your life. Okay? The outcome is the 8 of Swords, and that's why I was saying, feeling oppressed, those old tapes playing, because you don't want to let go, you don't want to change. This is something that you have to reprogram your mind. You can't just rely on your mind to be your friend, because it may tell you fear-based messages. messages of limitation that are no longer valid for you. So I picked an additional card, and I got the Tower card. This is a card of release. So this is what I associate with the eclipses, and in particular, that eclipse, that lunar eclipse, that can actually be kind of like a release. It can be God's grace that allows you to let go of the grips on something in your life, an obsession. Now, anything can be an obsession if you just are identified so closely with it. The more that we can just, practice detachment, radical detachment, the more we can feel at peace in our life. But it's easier said than done. We know that. We know that it isn't that easy. And for Scorpio, it's very difficult because you do get deeply attached to things. Much more so than like a Sun and Gemini individual who loves novelty and can operate maybe in a more shallow level sometimes emotionally, and that because they're more of a mental person, you're more of a feeling person. And that is just how you're wired. There's nothing wrong with it, but it becomes difficult for you when you can't move on when it's time to move on. And so this is going to help you to move on. Oh, wow. Very interesting. Okay, Scorpio, that's what I have for you. And it's kind of like, and that's why I said it's like getting out of prison. It's like this, and you may not have even seen your life in those terms. You may not have even seen yourself as so oppressed until you're away from that situation, and you can look back and say, wow, I'm so glad that I went through that because I really didn't have the ability to let go on my own. I'm glad that, this eclipse happened when it did. So that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.